Hello, I'm Pete Martin. Thanks for watching. Would you like to be able to add double stops to your bluegrass fiddle solos the way professional players do? I show you how to do that here. If you'd like to see more videos of fiddle, mandolin, improvisation, and other music subjects, subscribe to my channel. Click the bell icon to be notified of new videos. Players interested in learning and improving their improvisation should check out my Improv from Scratch series, available at the above link. There's a PDF file that goes along with this episode, so email me and request double stops for Bluegrass Fiddle. In this video, you will need to play double stops in third position. In many songs in various keys, you'll need to be able to play in first, second, and third positions. If you can't do this, you may need to get some more practice in positions before learning this material. Also, we talk about how chords are constructed, so some basic music theory knowledge will be necessary. If you have no theory knowledge, you may want to check out my book, Easy Music Theory for Fiddle and Mandolin, available at petamarpress.com. In old-time fiddling, it is very common to play a droning open string as a second note. While bluegrass fiddlers do this as well, it is more common to play something other than a droning harmony note while soloing on singing pieces. Harmony notes in bluegrass fiddling are usually much more like harmony singing, such as when the melody goes up, the harmony goes up, and vice versa. Let's see how this is done. In this video, we will look at the common bluegrass song, Way Downtown. I suggest listening to this song until you're familiar with it. Example 1 shows the melody to Way Downtown. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Bluegrass fiddlers most often play double stops in solos on singing pieces. They are most often playing the melody of the song at these points and letting the double stops embellish the melody. They don't play double stops on all notes, just the longer held notes. They also don't play different notes for every syllable a singer sings. If a singer sings one pitch but a bunch of words, bluegrass fiddlers often sustain those as one long note. Example 2 is the first line of Way Downtown played in the simpler melody way without double stops. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's take a closer look at the first two measures. This is example 3. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Notice in example 3, the melody is accompanied by a G major chord. The G major chord contains the notes G, B, and D. If you don't know this, you need to study some basic music theory, as I alluded to earlier. Notice that both the melody notes in example 3 are notes of the G major chord. Usually, any longer held or repeated melody pitches are notes of the accompanying chord of the song at that point. You need to know the melody note and what chord is being played behind you at that moment to know what your double stop should be. There are a few double stop notes we can play with the melody, but in this video I'm going to focus on the one that I hear the best players using most often. It is this. Whenever the melody note is a note of the chord currently being played, the double stop is the next note of that chord, or what I call chord tone, higher in pitch. Once again, the G chord contains the notes G, B, and D. We need to know the melody note and the chord in order to find the double stop. If the chord is G and the melody note is G, the double stop, the next chord tone higher, is the note B. If the melody note is B and the chord is G, the double stop note is D, the next chord tone higher. Because B and D in first position are impossible to play, we need to shift to third position to play these. See this in example 4. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. In the next two measures, which are on the D chord, the D chord has the melody notes D, F sharp, and A. The first melody note is B is very short, so we won't double stop that. The second melody note A is long enough to double stop. Remember, we double stop only the longer held notes. For this A note, the next note in the D chord that is higher is the note D. The next melody note is also a long note and still against the D chord. It's the note F sharp. The next note in the chord higher from F sharp is A. We shift back to first position to play this. See this in example 5. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. In example 6, we see these first 4 measures put together. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. If you like the material presented here, you may be interested in some of the 13 instruction books I've written for fiddle, mandolin, and improvisation. I'm also available for private lessons in Seattle and Issaquah, or online through Skype, FaceTime, or other platforms. Check these out at either of my websites, petamarpress.com or jazz-mandolin.com. Also, consider a small donation via PayPal at my email address shown here. In the next two measures, we are playing against an A chord, which contains the notes A, C sharp, and E. The note A has the double stop note of C sharp since it is the next chord tone higher. The B note in the first measure and F sharp note in the second measure are not notes of the A chord, so we're not going to be playing double stops on those. The last two measures, we're back to the D chord with a D melody note, so the next chord tone higher is F sharp, and that's our double stop note. See this in example 7. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Example 8 is the verse of Way Downtown with typical bluegrass fiddle double stops. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. If you look at the PDF file below example 8, you see a description of how to find these typical bluegrass fiddle double stops. First, you find the sustained melody notes. Then you need to know the chord that is being played at this place in the song. If the note of the melody is a note of the chord, the double stop is the next chord tone higher. My suggestion is to now take many different songs in several keys and learn how to do this. If you have questions or suggestions, please use the comments section below. Be sure to subscribe to my channel. I'm Pete Martin. Thanks for watching.